What's up, Richard? Timmons here. Since he's coming back to with the new film Ellen McKay this week, I decided to go ahead and do my top five because he actually hasn't done 10 really. But my top five favorite James L. Brooks directed movies. Like he actually produced a couple of stuff. Like obviously he wrote the Simpsons movie and all. But as for directing wise, he hasn't directed. Like I always thought he directed more, but he hasn't directed a whole lot as you would think. But now I'm only doing his directing credits. Yes, I know he wrote the Simpson movie and stuff like that. Uh, but I'm just talking about the directing films he did. So here are my official top 10. All right. Oh, not top 10. Top 5, my bad. All right. Number 5 is the 1994 movie I'll Do Anything. Which stars the likes of Nick Nolte and Albert Brooks, as well as Julie Kovner, who you might know as the voice of Marge Simpson from The Simpsons, where a struggling actor's life is upended when he's forced to take care of a young daughter after losing custody battles here. And the movie is very touching, and of course, like obviously he tries to revive his career and he discovers unexpected loves and responsibilities through fatherhood. It is a really remarkable story. Nick Nolte's great. Albert Brooks is terrific. Julie Kavanaugh is great. Jolie Richardson is also amazing. It is a really nice, heartfelt film about fatherhood, um, about father-daughter relationship as well. It's a really decent one there. Definitely had a little bit of a Kramer versus Kramer vibe to it at times. All right, coming in at number 4 is the film Spanglish. Now, Spanglish, of course, is a film that starred Adam Sandler as well as Taylor Leone and Paz Vega. Now, here's what Spanglish is about. It stars. It's pretty much where like a Mexican single mother and her daughter moves to a home of this dysfunctional American family when she becomes their housekeeper, and it's a really nice, heartfelt story. Adam Sandler's great. Paz Vega's terrific. Cloris Leachman is also in this as well. You even have a very young Sarah Hyland, like before Modern Family fame, and it is a really decent film. Sandler does such a good job here. It is a really it's not as dramatic as let's say Reign Over Me or anything like that, but Sandler definitely gives a really good performance here. Paz Vega is great. It's a really decent film. With romance tensions, challenges of parenting collide and stuff. A really decent film there. A really decent, funny, heartwarming flick. Number 3 is Broadcast News. Broadcast News, of course, stars William Hurt, Albert Brooks, Joan Cusack, Holly Hunter, and it's a romantic comedy drama set in DC, where whereas like a brilliant but obnoxious producer, a charming but less qualified anchor, and a talented but neurotic reporter form a complicated triangle that explores like ethics, ambitious, access in journalism here. I mean, obviously, journalism was very different back in the '80s and stuff. And the performances here, like Holly Hunter is really charming. William Hurt's terrific. It is obviously a movie about TV about the TV newsroom and stuff. People who poo poo about remakes and stuff like that. This is actually a movie I think you could definitely remake today, especially with today's news cycles and stuff like that. You could do a really interesting remake of this, but people poo poo and cry about. But so broadcast news is a really like the original. Obviously, broadcast news is always a great one. All right, number 2 is the one that won Jack Nicholson an Oscar, and that is As Good as It Gets. Of course, it stars Jack Nicholson, Cuba Gooding Jr., Greg Kinnear, Skeet Ulrich, and it's where like an obsessive, compulsive novelist forms an unlikely bond with a single mother waitress and his gay artist neighbor after a series of events force them together here. And it's a really decent, terrific, funny, heartwarming film. Jack Nixon, Helen Hunt is great in this one. It is really remarkable. I mean, a well-deserving Oscar win for Jack Nixon. I should say. Cuba Gooding Jr. does such a good job here. It's a really wonderful film if you guys never seen it. And my number one favorite, and to me, the best James L. Brooks film of all time is his Oscar-winning film, Terms of Endearment. Very heartwarming dramedy that follows like the complicated lifelong relationship between a strong-willed mother, Aurora Greenwood, and the dependent daughter, Emma, as they like navigate marriages, heartbreaks, illness, and it is a really tragic story, like a tragic story here. Great cast. You had Shirley MacLaine, who I think won an Oscar for this. I could be mistaken there. Deborah Winger, Jack Nicholson, Jeff Daniels, John Lithgow, Danny DeVito. I mean, Jack Nicholson has a really good relationship with James L. Brooks. I mean, his last movie, by the way, Jack Nicholson's last film, How Do You Know? That was, of course, directed by James L. Brooks. It's a shame that he couldn't get Jack Nicholson for Ellen McKay. That would have been cool to see a little bit of comeback of him, but he's good and retired, which, hey, good on him. Jack Nicholson is the man. But in terms of Endearment, I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, do yourself a favor, give it a go. You'll definitely need some tissues while you watch it. It is a really sad story here. Of course, the mother and daughter chemistry with McLean, Winger's terrific. Again, Jack Nicholson's wonderful. Jeff Daniels. I mean, do yourself a favor, give it a go. You won't be disappointed. But that's pretty much it there. Here is my quick rundown. Number 5, How I'll Do Anything. 4, Spanglish. 3, Broadcast News. 2, As Good as It Gets. And number 1, Terms of Endearment. Now, of course, obviously, other stuff like, his other directing film he did was the aforementioned How Do You Know? But if I want to go with his writing and producing credits, some of his producing writing credits includes the Simpsons movie, Jerry Maguire, Say Anything. He was a producer on Big, Starting Over. Most recent, he was a producer on The Edge of 17, as well as Are You There, God Is Me, Margaret, that came out, about 2 years ago. But his directing credits, again, I always thought he directed more movies, but he didn't really direct a whole lot, really. But hey, he is still a living legend. Whether it's a writing, producing, directing, and I think he's also he works on. I think he also works on The Simpsons too, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So obviously, he's more known for TV now thanks to The Simpsons. But let me ask you guys, what are some of your favorite James L. Brooks directed films? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Serious.